Late at night, I cast a forbidden movie to the TV, only to accidentally connect to my childhood friend's set. I thought I was going to die of embarrassment on the spot, but to my surprise, he didn't get mad. He actually invited me over to watch it with him. I raced to his room, heart pounding with excitement. Then, when he leaned in, I suddenly locked my phone and blurted out, "Have you ever been kissed?" He pushed me away with a cold face and said, "You only kiss your girlfriend." I felt crushed and convinced we'd only ever be friends. Then, in an elective class, I noticed my little hair tie around his wrist. I finally mustered the nerve to ask if he liked me. His ears flushed red as he admitted it. When he lowered his head and kissed me, I realized we had secretly liked each other for years. That night, Jason called. "What are you doing?" "Casting a documentary." There was a dry laugh on the other end. "A very high-definition human sexuality documentary, Japanese edition." I froze. Wait, how did I cast a porn movie to Jason's TV? Of all nights, this one was asking for trouble. So with my parents out, I planned to watch a classic erotic film. To make the experience authentic, I even splurged on a casting subscription. But for some reason, the phone said it had successfully cast, and the TV stayed blank. Was my phone broken? I hammered the volume button, nothing. I dragged the progress bar, nothing. Just as I was about to exit and try again, Jason rang me with a video call. What was he doing, calling at this hour? Wasn't he supposed to be gaming with his buddies? When I picked up, the jerk was staring at me, with a look I couldn't read. Someone seemed to be crying in his background, maybe a game sound effect, so I ignored it. "What are you doing?" he asked. I lied on the spot, watching a documentary broadening my horizons. You know, educational. You should learn from my scholarly spirit instead of always playing games, watching basketball so tacky and reckless. Jason snorted. Then he switched to his rear camera and pointed it at his TV. A very high-definition human sexuality documentary. Japanese edition. "Isabel, you're watching stuff like this at night?" On his TV, a wildly explicit adult film played, loud and flashy. It looked vaguely familiar. I looked again, and my scalp crawled. I wanted to die, because it was exactly the movie I'd been trying to cast, but hadn't shown up on my screen. Damn it, I had somehow cast the porn to Jason's TV upstairs. I felt mortified, my face burning. "Jason, let me explain." He flipped back to the front camera, amusement playing across his handsome face. "Go ahead, tell me," he said. I forced a laugh. "It was just curiosity, you know? Pure curiosity." Jason curled his lip. "Those guys aren't as fit or as good-looking as me. Why watch them when you can watch me?" "Get out of here with that ego," I scoffed. Still, I stole a glance at him. Fresh from the shower, his hair was still damp. We'd grown up together since we were kids. I'd seen him fall on his bare butt as a little kid, seen him show off his muscles during puberty while playing basketball, and seen him flirt his way through college if he became an internet celebrity. That jerk face alone could start him with 1 million followers. He really was more interesting than those actors. "What are you spacing out for?" he asked. "Thinking," I muttered. Jason chuckled lazily. "All right, go to sleep. Be more careful next time. Good thing you cast to my bedroom TV. If you'd cast it to the living room, and my parents saw it, I'd be preparing your burial." Got it. Got it. I scratched my head awkwardly, and was about to hang up. No more casting for me. If I wanted to watch, I'd hide under the covers. But then Jason said, "Isabel, if you're really that curious, you can come over." "Why would I go to your house?" I asked, puzzled. He smiled at me through the screen. "I'll watch with you. I'm curious too." That night, I slipped into Jason's house in slippers. His parents were asleep. I tiptoed into his room, the room where I'd done homework 100 times. I'd watched tons of cartoons there, and even had a few childhood bedwetting incidents in that room. It was like a second home, so I pulled out a small stool and sat down. My eyes were bright, equal parts shy and curious. Since he already knew my little pervy secret, I didn't bother hiding it. He glanced at me and cleared his throat. "You really want to watch?" Yeah, you said you were curious too, so let's watch Learn together. Okay, I'll ask Juan for a copy. No need, I brought it myself. The same one from earlier. I excitedly shook my phone. Jason raised an eyebrow. Cast it? I shook my head and warned. What if Uncle Tony gets up and sees? If there's no time to stop it, we'll sit at the desk and watch with headphones. You're usually so clueless, but suddenly practical, he dawdled. So I tugged him. Stop stalling, hurry up! Coming, what's the rush? Jason sat beside me. The space under his desk wasn't very big, so when I bent my legs, they naturally pressed against the outside of his thigh. He must have switched to a new body wash, clean and fresh, perfectly matching his flashy personality, though honestly a bit annoying. The scent tickled my nose. I turned to look at his profile. The earphone cord between us shifted slightly. Jason, I'm pressing play. Don't you dare run. Yeah. Whoever runs is a loser. His voice came lazy but oddly hoarse. His ears slightly red. I had to admit, classics were classics. The video might have looked a bit dated, but my heart was still racing, cheeks burning with embarrassment and thrill. It was exciting, sure, but painfully awkward too. Jason, who usually couldn't shut up, was surprisingly silent the entire time, barely even moving. It made the silence worse, to the point where I wanted to say something just to break it, but didn't know how. I sat there, flustered and stiff. Soon, the lead started kissing a close-up shot. Whatever filming technique that was, the sound in my earphones was ridiculously vivid, damp and intimate. The air felt suffocating. Sweat trickled down my back. I pressed my lips together, irritated. Damn, now I wanted to kiss too. Sometimes I really hated Jason. With him shining like that next to me, my luck with guys had always been terrible. While people my age were busy kissing each other silly, I was still brooding over why the lemon slush at Snow King had gone up to $5 a cup. In college, I could have dated. But none of the guys sparked even a flicker of interest. None of them were Jason. Not as tall. Not as handsome. Not as sharp. He'd raised my standards way too high. So with the attitude of better single than sorry, I stayed solo my entire freshman year. Now it was nearly sophomore year, and I still hadn't had my first kiss. My roommates and besties had teased me for ages. That's why I swore my first kiss had to go to a hot guy at least. Then I could brag in the group chat for days. But right now, in this dim room with Jason next to me, a sudden impulse took over. I reached out and locked the screen. The images and sounds vanished. What's wrong? Jason turned, eyes unreadable. I don't want to watch anymore. I fiddled with my fingers, mumbling. He snorted and bumped my leg under the desk. What, chickening out? You were all bold a minute ago. Didn't we say whoever quits first is the loser? You giving up already? No, I just got tired of it. Tired of what? I took off the earphones, leaned closer, and shot back. Jason, have you ever kissed anyone? Jason looked down at me. What do you think? I'm either with you or sleeping or in the bathroom. When would I have time? Huh. I knew you wouldn't dare do anything behind my back. So why are you asking about my first kiss? He leaned in too. Closer this time. The scent of his body wash was almost overwhelming. Dizzying. Maybe it was because it was him sitting there that I felt no fear showing my curiosity like I could explore anything with him. I looked into his face and, before I could stop myself, blurted out, I want to kiss you. Like in the movie. Can I? The lazy smile on his face disappeared instantly. His Adam's apple bobbed. His eyes dropped to my lips, burning. You sure? I faltered a bit. Yeah, sure. His voice deepened. Why me? I just want to know what it feels like. So why try that with me? God, are you writing a Q&A? Who else am I supposed to try with? I stepped on his foot, annoyed. You're the only one around! Jason froze, eyes sharpening a little. What do you mean? I sighed. It's just you and I are close, right? It's not a big deal. You've already lost your dignity since I pulled your pants down as a kid. And besides, You're the only guy I really know. If I knew someone else, I'd have kissed them already." Jason's temple pulsed. The next second, he shoved my face away so hard I nearly fell off the stool. "Like hell you will. Go to bed." I stared at him. "What the hell, Jason? I mentioned pulling your pants down and you flip out?" He sneered. "Guess I'm a quick change artist. Now leave before I kick you out." "Fine," I snapped. He'd really done it now. I flipped him off and stood to leave, furious. But before I could take a step, he yanked me back. "Wait. What? You finally realized you're an idiot?" I shot back. "Your nose runs into your mouth and now you know to wipe it? You think that's yogurt?" Jason didn't even react, just took my phone. He tapped a few times and handed it back. "I deleted all your documentaries. Don't watch that crap again." Then he kicked me out of his house. I stormed home, muttering curses the whole way. I swore, before going back to school, if I so much as talked to him, I'd eat dog food. Lying in bed, trying to recover the deleted files, my WeChat suddenly exploded. Turns out, our high school group was planning a reunion dinner. I hadn't planned on going until I saw Luke was coming. Luke, my high school crush, Jason's good friend. Gentle, elegant, second only to Jason in popularity. I'd had a crush on him forever. I'd even asked Jason to deliver a love letter once, but Luke never replied. Silence meant rejection. I cried like a baby that day, and Jason, the jerk, had the nerve to mock me. "He's never gonna like you. Give it up." After that, Luke skipped college entrance exams and went abroad. I buried that crush for good, or so I thought. But now he was back for summer break, and just like that, the dead flame rekindled. I immediately typed in the group chat, "I'm coming too," but right after I sent it, Jason popped up. "I'll go too," he said lazily. The group went crazy. Everyone started gossiping about Luke and Jason. Someone asked, "Do you two have girlfriends yet?" Jason, who hated talking about personal stuff, didn't reply. After a pause, Luke typed, "No." I rolled over on my bed, grinning. There was still hope. On the day of the dinner, I wore my prettiest dress and did my makeup carefully. Tonight, I had to talk to Luke more. Maybe even get a shot at being on his radar. Would serve Jason right, too. But the moment I opened my door, there he was, leaning lazily in the hallway. Black t-shirt, cargo pants, looking infuriatingly good. I glared at him and ignored him on purpose. He fell in step beside me anyway, brushing my shoulder with his sleeve, both ticklish and irritating. "Isabel, look at you. 3 days without replying to my texts. Wouldn't even open the door. Please. What makes you think you deserve my attention? So you're carrying all your luggage back to campus yourself?" "Of course," Jason smirked. "Oh? I heard the road to the dorm's under construction. No taxis allowed." My stomach dropped. Dorme sat on a huge hill. Just getting to class felt like hiking. I ate like a pig, but never gained weight from all the climbing. So if no taxis could get through, that meant I'd be dragging my suitcase uphill and up 5 flights of stairs. Pride? Forget it. I turned and clung to his arm, voice sweet as honey. "Jason, my dearest, I'd never ignore you. Straighten that tongue when you talk." He gave me a look somewhere between exasperated and amused, a small grin tugging at his lips. "I didn't ignore you," I whined. "You're the one who refused to kiss me, shoved me out, and crushed my fragile little ego. So now you're paying for dinner tonight and buying me roasted chestnuts on the way back. Then we're besties again. Give you an inch, and you take a mile," he muttered. Jason actually laughed, shaking his head before walking off toward the elevator. I hurried after him. We teased each other all the way to the restaurant. But as soon as we reached the door, I straightened up and pretended to be a lady. Pulled out my mirror to check my lipstick. Adjusted my hair. Then, just to be safe, I tugged my dress down a bit to show some shoulder. But before I could blink, Jason pulled it back up. "You trying to be seductive or something? It's not for you. Mind your business." His mouth tightened. "Then who's it for?" "For Luke. Duh." He's coming tonight. And he's single. I've got to shoot my shot. Jason's jaw clenched slightly. You still hung up on him? Of course. He's handsome and gentle. Basically perfect. You know, Luke. Jason stopped mid-sentence. His expression shifted to something wicked, and he tilted his chin toward the front. Speak of the devil, there's your prince. I turned instantly and froze. Luke had just stepped out of a luxury car. He walked around to the driver's side and kissed the driver softly. The driver, a man, looked just as handsome. My brain short-circuited. Jason elbowed me with barely concealed glee. Look, your dream guy's got a boyfriend. Still think he's so great? I walked into the private room in a daze. Sat down in a daze. Watched Jason and Luke chatting like old times. Still in a daze. That girlish crush of mine shattered into dust beyond repair. I'd thought he just didn't like my type. Turns out he didn't like my gender. He really didn't have a girlfriend because he had a boyfriend. For God's sake, is it too late to book surgery in Thailand? That missing body part might finally need an upgrade. Tears streamed down my face as a herd of wild horses galloped through my mind. While my so-called dream guy was chatting politely with others, Jason tapped the table in front of me and teased, "Seriously? You're still not over it?" I clenched my teeth and glared at him. You knew back in high school, didn't you? Of course. Then why didn't you tell me? I embarrassed myself for nothing. Jason shot me a glance. That was his private business. I couldn't just go around telling people. Fair enough. Something that personal wasn't Jason's to spread. What about the love letter? Did you even give it to him? I bet you didn't. I hate you, you shameless jerk. Jason smiled faintly. Don't slander me. I'm a man of morals. Yeah, right. Anyway, just so you know, he and his boyfriend have been together for a long time. Don't go playing the homewrecker. I slumped. Got it. I'm not that pathetic. At least if I couldn't have him, neither could any other girl. That thought made me feel slightly better. I sighed, pushed down the frustration, and looked away from my ex-crush. Then suddenly, a thought struck me. I whipped my head toward Jason, eyes wide like I'd just uncovered a scandal. He paused mid-sip and raised a brow. What kind of nonsense are you cooking up now? Spit it out. I leaned closer, grinning mischievously. Since Luke likes guys, and you're such good friends with him, don't tell me. You never date girls, never flirt. Could it be you like guys too? Jason gave a short, sharp laugh. Then another, each colder than the last, sending chills down my spine. He set his glass down, reached out, and grabbed the back of my neck, pulling me close. His voice was calm, too calm. You said you wanted to kiss me the other day. Fine. I'll show you exactly who I like, men or women. The reunion carried on as usual. After letting me go, Jason went right back to chatting casually with our classmates. As if those words had been nothing more than small talk about the weather, I poked at my food slowly, heart pounding. I'd just been teasing him. But maybe I'd hit a nerve. I couldn't tell if he was joking or serious. If it was a joke, I'd be relieved, but also weirdly disappointed. If he meant it, my face would probably catch fire. Either way, I couldn't sit still, my pulse racing. I drank another glass of wine to calm myself down, but it only made the world spin. The next thing I knew, someone was carrying me through the quiet streets of our neighborhood. Their steps were steady, their shoulders broad. It reminded me of something from our senior year of high school. Back then, because of some school transfer issue, Jason had to return to his hometown for half a year to finish school and take his exams there. I was thrilled at first, finally. No one to nag or tease me. But after a few days, I started feeling empty. No one to argue with, no one to patiently help me with homework. It just felt like something was missing. All I could do was trade a few sarcastic texts with him every day from hundreds of miles apart. That spring was rainy and unpredictable. I caught a nasty cold, stuffy nose, throbbing head, and with my parents away for work, I had no one to take care of me. Feeling miserable, I texted Jason to complain. He didn't reply. He was probably busy studying for exams. But the next day, during the long break between classes, my deskmate suddenly smacked my shoulder. "Isabel, someone's looking for you outside." Sniffling. I walked out of the classroom and there was Jason, standing in the hallway with an umbrella in hand, wearing a dark windbreaker and another school's uniform pants. The collar was popped up against his chin, casual and effortlessly handsome. When I froze, he reached over and flicked my head. "What? Stunned?" I stammered. "Why are you here? Isn't your school in session?" "Came to check on the abandoned kid and bring you medicine. Take it and sleep early tonight. Send me your math problems. I'll explain them over voice." "Oh." I stared blankly at the pills in my hand, at his rain-damp hair. His dark eyes under his fringe gleamed lazily, with a hint of mischief. "All right, I'm heading back." "Wait." I sniffled and looked at him pitifully. "Jason, you're acting weird today." He paused. "Weird how?" "Weirdly handsome. And weirdly gentle." He chuckled. "When did you get your eyes checked?" "Huh? Guess they finally work. You're not blind anymore." Still the same smart ass. The tenderness was just camouflage. My face stiffened, and I stomped on his fancy sneakers, splattering them with mud. He didn't get angry, just burst out laughing. "All right, do well on your exams. Let's get into the same college. If you don't, I'm tossing you in the trash." With that threat, he hurried off, probably to catch the last bus. His tall, youthful silhouette, then, was the same as the one carrying me, now steady, reassuring. The next morning, after a quick wash, I escaped my mom's nagging and ran upstairs. Aunt Emily answered the door, too busy watching TV to care. I greeted her and slipped straight into Jason's room. The door wasn't locked, just ajar. I figured he was gaming, so I pushed it open only to come face to face with him coming out of the bathroom. He'd just showered, bare-chested, wearing only grey sweatpants. No wonder people say grey sweatpants on guys are as lethal as black stockings on girls. It was true. Jason froze for a moment, then quickly went to the wardrobe to grab a shirt, looking calm but awkwardly clumsy. I scratched my nose. "You shower this early?" "Hot. Sweaty." He glanced at me while pulling on his shirt. The air was awkward as hell. I needed to say something. "Jason, your body's gotten pretty nice," I blurted. "Even better than the guy in that documentary." His hand stilled. "Thanks for ruining my morning. What do you want?" I shuffled closer, shy and hesitant. "Last night, you said you'd kiss me to prove you're straight. Were you serious?" "No, I'm straight as a pole, so relax." Damn, he was teasing me again. "Oh, okay then. Guess I'll find someone else to practice with." I turned toward the door, but before I could leave, it slammed shut with a loud thud. Jason's voice came low and rough behind me. "Who says I won't kiss you?" We ended up sitting on his bed, the sound of Aunt Emily's laughter from the TV drifting in from the living room. Neither of us spoke. It felt just like the night of the documentary, except his ears were even redder now, and he wasn't acting nearly as cocky. I poked his leg, curious. "So, do you start? Or do I?" "Doesn't matter." "Is it usually the guy or the girl?" "No idea. Never done it." "Maybe we should re-watch the documentary for reference?" Jason took a deep breath, like he was restraining himself. "To hell with that. I'll do it." "Shut up." "Okay." I watched him lean closer. His arm braced against the bed, muscles tense under his skin, veins standing out. It was raw, unfiltered masculinity, and on him, it was damn sexy. Then, in a dizzy blur, he kissed me. Just a soft, fleeting touch. For someone usually so sharp-tongued, his lips were surprisingly gentle. And just as quickly, it was over. Before I could even process it, he straightened up, voice hoarse. "There. Done." "That doesn't count. I said mouth to mouth, not cheek." "No way." "Why not?" He lifted his eyes, expression cool, distant. "That's for my girlfriend." "Are you my girlfriend?" No. Then why would I kiss you? That day he refused no matter what. Face set like stone. Aunt Emily even knocked on the door, thinking we were fighting. Girlfriend. Jason might look like a player, but deep down, he was anything but. He'd always kept himself clean. Whoever ended up with him would be lucky he'd treat her right. But what about me? Once he had a girlfriend, he'd drift away, wouldn't he? No more midnight snacks, no more late-night documentaries, no more medicine runs or luggage hauls. Friendship couldn't compete with love. Thinking that left a bitter taste in my chest. The emptiness I'd felt when he left for that semester crept back in. My mood sank. I spent the last few days of summer break holed up at home, no longer in the mood to joke around. He didn't come by either. Occasionally I'd see him at the basketball court, playing with the guys, or pass him on evening walks, face unreadable. Even on move-in day, he just carried my suitcase upstairs and left without a word. I stood there, lost and a little hollow. My roommate asked, "Did you two fight?" Not really. I just feel like we should keep some distance. He'll get a girlfriend eventually, and we'll drift apart. Friends should act like friends. Excuse me? I thought you two were basically dating, just hadn't made it official yet, I muttered. What's there to make official? We've been like this since forever. He teases me. I yell at him. He gets mad. I hit back. Constant chaos. Only mellowed out a bit as we grew older. My roommate gawked. No way! The way he looks at you, his eyes practically spark. Don't you notice? What kind of guy brings you milk tea in the middle of the night? Or KFC? He only ever hangs around you, only drinks water you hand him during games. If that's not love, what is? Most people would be shopping for wedding houses by now. I sighed. Love? There's no way he likes me. You don't get it. Back in high school, he told someone point blank he didn't like me. What? My roommate was dumbfounded. I felt deflated all over again. Having such a perfect childhood friend, it was only natural I'd fall for him when I was younger. But back in freshman year, because we bickered all the time, the teacher thought we were dating. She called him into the office first. When I pushed the door open, I heard Jason's cold voice say, "She doesn't like me. We're not dating." So I tucked away those foolish feelings, heartbroken, and shifted my attention to my so-called dream guy, Luke. In the end, I didn't get any of them. Damn it. My roommate's words made me feel even worse. Lying in bed, I opened Jason's chat and tapped his profile twice in frustration, accidentally turning it into a poke. "Es?" Came his instant death stare emoji. Mortified, I typed. Oops. Wrong tap. Jason. No, I mean, who is this? Clearly mocking how I'd been giving him the cold shoulder lately. I couldn't take it anymore. I didn't want to keep fighting. So I groveled. "I'm sorry. Can we stop this? I'll buy you dinner tomorrow," Jason replied, satisfied. "Can't. Got class registration." "Oh, right. Speaking of that, can you take the basketball elective with me? Didn't you say you hate basketball?" I explained. "It's just easier to hang out with you. Plus, if you teach me, I'll ace the class." Jason. Call me bro. I play acted sweet. "Jason! My favorite big brother!" Jason. Dismissed. "Aye, sir." Cold War over. I clutched my phone and let out a long sigh of relief. So what if he didn't like me? At least we still had our friendship, our weird sibling-like bond. Jason and I went back to bickering on WeChat every day. But with the chaos of a new semester and our dorms being far apart, we never managed that make-up meal. The next time I saw him was during our first basketball class. I rushed to the gym and found him already there, casually shooting hoops with a few guys. He looked effortlessly cool, the kind of scene that drew eyes from every direction. Scanning the court, I realized there was an unusually high ratio of pretty girls in this class. Tisk. My stupid childhood friend was still a magnet for butterflies. I sighed dramatically. Then, as if sensing me, Jason turned, caught my gaze, and walked right over. He tossed the ball aside and slung his arm around my shoulders, heavy, warm, completely messing up my hair. Dude, you're making me look like an action figure. Don't want to be my action figure. Want me to stop teaching you? He rubbed my head for good measure, turning my hair into a bird's nest. See? With behavior like that, who'd believe he liked me? I jabbed him in the ribs to escape, fuming as I redid my ponytail. Jason just stood there watching me, like tying my hair was some fascinating ritual. What are you staring at? Nothing. Just want something from you. What? That spare hair tie on your wrist. Confused, I handed it over. What do you need this for? Gonna tie your own hair? Or your leg hair? None of your business. Go sign in. He tugged me toward the roll call desk. The black hair tie on his wrist was now hard to miss, and so were his slightly red ears. The class was as loose as expected. The teacher gave a brief rundown of the final requirements, then let everyone do their own thing. Jason dragged me to a quieter hoop and started teaching. He rattled off a bunch of basketball terms that went straight over my head. Why was I roasting under the sun for this idiot again? I could have taken floral arrangement like a sane person, but it was too late to change, so I grumbled and started practicing dribbling. Meanwhile, Jason lounged in the shade with a bottle of water, occasionally throwing lazy insults my way. You eat lunch or what? Bend your knees, zombie! Furious, I nearly hurled the basketball at his smug face. Then I noticed a pretty girl standing before him, looking shy. Jason? Want to catch a movie after class? No? Why not? Jason lifted his arm slightly, revealing the pink heart-shaped hair tie on his wrist. What do you think? The girl froze, her smile faltering. Oh, I see. Sorry for bothering you. Hugging my basketball, I turned away quietly. For some reason, I remembered a cheesy internet post that said, when a guy wears a girl's hair tie, it's a sign he's taken a token of affection. It meant he liked someone. After the girl left, I trudged over. Jason sat in the shade, glancing at me with those dark eyes. Done? Already? Yeah. Taking a break. Lazy. Don't ask me for help at finals. His teasing tone didn't bother me at all this time. Jason, I've always wondered, do you like someone? Jason didn't answer right away. Instead, he asked lightly, what do you think? I think you do. Huh. Good guess. I leaned in a little, catching the faint mix of detergent and sweat on him. Not unpleasant. Actually kind of fresh. Who is she? Do I know her? What's she like? How much do you like her? What are you? The Census Bureau? Why so many questions? He looked away, a little flustered, refusing to meet my eyes. I reached out and tugged gently at the hair tie on his wrist, my fingertip brushing his skin. Just asking. Wanted to know if I've got a shot. Jason's head snapped up, eyes wide. What do you mean? Then why'd you use my hair tie to turn down that girl? Trying to say I've got you on a leash? That I've claimed you? I rested my chin on his shoulder like I used to as a kid. Jason, do you like me? His lashes fluttered, his throat bobbing. When he finally spoke, his voice was low and a little shy. Yeah, I like you. So what? I stopped playing with the hair tie, and instead laced my fingers through his. Our palms were sticky with dirt and sweat from basketball. Not exactly romantic, but he held on tighter. So what? So it's fine by me. Then can you kiss me? I'm still curious. If I kiss you, we're dating. Then let's date. As long as you're not scared, my dad will break your legs. He still thinks you're a bad influence. Jason chuckled, then bent down and kissed me. Oh. His lips were soft, warm, and sweet, like cotton candy, sugary and tender, his breath hot against my skin, making my heart swell. Jason, wanna know a secret? I've liked you for a long time, probably longer than you've liked me. Jason didn't answer right away. When he did, it was with another kiss. We'd missed the innocent years, but that was okay, because from now on the future was ours.